Bitcoin, June 16th, 2021, 9:03 p.m. Hawaiian Standard Time. What a roller coaster ride the big Bitcoin is. You can see we had this massive sell-off here, slowed down, all sold off all the way down to here. Buyers rallied this puppy up here, rolled over here, up back over here, down over here, down here, up here, down here, now all the way up here, now down here. So, I don't know when it was, but I was talking about how if Bitcoin, it was looking really, really bearish. It was looking bearish. Before this happened, it was looking bearish. Well, I guess before, yeah, even here, like once this happened, maybe this should have been an indication that the selling could have been over. There was all the selling going on. Nonetheless, this happened right here. Now, maybe we are going to be establishing a little bit of a base in this part of the range. We'll see. In times like this, like I'm so happy that my primary strategy of trading any markets is selling options. To me, it is so much easier to pick where an asset price is not going to go in a certain amount of time than trying to figure out where it's going to go in what amount of time. Obviously, I don't know if it's obvious, but if it's not obvious, it's more profitable to pick direction. It's less profitable to sell options, but it's just way easier from my experience. And if depending on what you have going on in your life, like I have a fairly busy life, and at the moment, unfortunately, for better or for worse, I cannot be sitting in front of a computer just trading all the time. I've got things I got to take care of. And so at times when I can just, when I know that I've got several hours that I can just dedicate to trading or a couple, days in a row or something, then I'll put on some directional trades if something looks like a good opportunity and I've got some time coming up. And there's other positions that I have that are less of a trade. They're more of an investment, and or like it's maybe a longer term trade, and so in a way I kind of don't care where the direction goes in the short term. So it all depends on the timeline. It depends on a variety of things. You have to figure out those things for yourself. But I'm telling you what, if you practice a few different things, try different things out, you're going to find out that selling options is a very, it's a very forgiving strategy. And so, yeah, for me, I definitely would be looking at how far away from price action can I sell options and make some money, and looking for different points of support and resistance. And I'd be selling options if I was going to be doing that until I had a more definite idea. But get into a little bit of technical analysis for this. So our lower lows and our lower highs have been broken. Right now, this broke it right here, because now we had I guess from here, okay, here's a low, lower 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 low. But at the moment, no more. That series of lower lows and also these lower highs broken right here. Now we're at now we go to a high, higher high, right? Low, higher low, higher low. Potentially things could change, but looking, man, this is a pretty exciting thing to trade. And if I wasn't completely kind of wrapped up in WTI crude oil and some other things I'm doing in the stock market, then yeah, I probably would be getting in on some price action. Long term wise, like if I don't know at the moment. For me personally, The reason why I would feel more comfortable trading price action of Bitcoin versus investing in Bitcoin is that, like, I'm having a difficult time getting to be able to do a good fundamental analysis. What is the true fundamental value of Bitcoin? So for example, if you pick up the Benjamin Graham book, Intelligent Investor, you get an idea of how to do a fundamental analysis, to have an idea of what's the fair value of an equity and what amount below that would be a good price to buy it at. Or also, if you have something that pays dividends, and you can look at a company and see how much debt they have, how much cash they have on hand, what assets they have. If they had to liquidate everything, could they pay off their debt? All these different things that you can look at to fundamentally analyze things. And for me personally, I just don't see that being as easy. I'm not saying it can't be done. I think you have to have the skill set for it. I don't have that skill set, and I'm building skill sets on doing what I'm already doing. So if I start implementing this, it's going to be a little bit down the road. And because what I'm doing in crude oil and what I'm doing in the stock market, it's working. So it's working. I want to keep going with what works, and only add things after I tested them. And right now, it looks like, though, that you can make a lot of money at least trading the price action of Bitcoin. If you caught this downward movement, you caught this upward movement, you caught this upward movement, you taking out little or big chunks out of this price action. Sometimes I think it moved almost it moved like it was like around like close to 5,000 points in a day. If you get 1,000 points out of that, it's pretty legit. And also, if you can get comfortable with an asset, and you're also able to sell options on it. When the time's right to take directional trades, you can take directional trades. While you're waiting for that to set up, you can place non-directional trades via selling options. There's a lot of different things that you can do when you start really getting, when you have a good idea of what do you think a fair price to pay for something is. And then after that, whatever the market price is, that's the market price. For example, I live in Hawaii. May or may not know that. I live in Hawaii, and for 5 years of my life, I was a professional massage therapist. And before I was a massage therapist, I was getting massages. After I was done massaging professionally, I was still getting massages. And on Oahu for several years. All right, now since the whole pandemic stuff has been around, I'm a little bit out of the game. But before that, the going rate for a 1 hour massage was $60 an hour. That doesn't mean that you want to pay more, and that doesn't mean that you want to pay less. But on average, it was $1 a minute. It was kind of like the market price for a long time for massages. So that's where I would gauge value at. Of course, value of quality of the work and these other things too. You go into a place that's a complete pigsty, or you go into a place that's immaculate. There's all these different factors that come into it. But nonetheless, that was one part of the analysis, is how much per minute. And so based on that, like, how do you analyze Bitcoin the same way? I know people say, well, there's a network effect. Okay. All right. So that's like saying, well, there's price per minute. What does that tell me? Okay, there's price per minute. Okay, there's a network effect. Okay. All right, but how do I take there's a network effect, and how do I translate that into some dollar amount in my mind, so I can say, oh, as the network effect either expands or contracts, it should lower or increase a dollar amount. Well, what else can be done? I think there's a lot of conversation that goes on in the crypto space right now that it's kind of like blending different arguments together, or not just arguments, not like people bickering back and forth, but selling points or whatever. I think there's a lot of just like stuff that doesn't really make logical sense. When you really break it down, it would be, if I was a super crypto person, this is what I would be doing right now. I would be listing all these things that I hear people in the crypto space saying, and when it doesn't make sense, because what happens is when it doesn't make sense, the detractors can come in on that. And so don't put yourself in that position. It's like sales, to me, it's sales 101, right? Like don't put two things together that don't go together. Real simple, right? Don't put them together. If you want to list them as two separate things, list them as two separate things. But don't list them as one thing if someone else can come from the outside and be like, that doesn't make sense. You want things that make sense. And even if you see it as a benefit, if it's very difficult to explain, then maybe don't bring it up. Don't put yourself in a stupid position where you're trying to explain something that's super, super hard to explain. Just keep it simple on the stuff that makes makes sense. But you know, nonetheless, as I said in one of these last videos, for people that are new to the crypto space, one of the easiest things that if I wasn't already deep into some other things, I have looked at, and I would continue to look at, I would be diving into the non-fungible tokens. And the reason why I think that's so important is that, not just important, but revolutionary, is that it really already has and will continue to disrupt the whole royalty model of things. You create music, like get it on NFT. You don't create music, but you're entrepreneurial. You wanna get with artists that don't know how to do it, and you know how to do it. Put their songs on in NFT form, because then someone buys them, and every time it's sold, you get some percentage of it. You got to look into things for yourself. Not only that, but then it's a kind of you build this like a portfolio, right? You have this pool of assets that can be sold and traded around, and when someone else sells them, you get a little bit of this passive income coming in. Not only that, okay, that's great, but what is also the intangible greatness is the experience that you get and the knowledge that you learn out of that. You have no idea what doors those will open up. You know, one time I had vending machines. I had 25 vending machines, these gumball vending machines. You put 25 cents in, and you turn the thing, you turn the thing, and you know, the candy comes out. And the funny thing was, you know what's so crazy about this? That I bought all these vending machines. I didn't even have a car. Isn't that silly? I did not even have a car. So I'm taking taxi cabs. I'm doing all this crazy stuff to get these vending machines out there. And and it wasn't really a successful business endeavor for me. I didn't even probably break even. You know, I made some money, but more importantly, I learned a lot. I learned a heck of a lot. Like, did you know by any chance that that candy attracts bugs, attracts ants? I had vending machines that the ants are crawling up there, crawling up, and they get there. People call me, you got to get these out of here. I'm like, I don't have a car. So who knows what might happen? You dabble in the NFT world, you learn some stuff, and what's also really amazing is that everybody has these unique viewpoints of life, or we have the possibility to. Not everybody exercises themselves, but you might look at things differently. I'll give you an example. Bill Harris with Centerpoint Technologies created the HoloSync binaural beats stuff. He did not invent binaural beats, but he took something, he started researching something that people, this guy, I forgot what his name was, this guy had invented it, Elliot Pragein, I think. And but Bill Harris happened to be looking at life a little bit differently than that other guy was. And so he was able to take the same technology and implement it in a little bit different way and get a different result. Not necessarily because he was smarter, maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, but the big picture is that he just had a different interest and kind of looked at life differently. So do that, like do something, take some action. You're interested in crypto, get some freaking NFT stuff going, do something. if you don't really like technical analysis, or you don't want to learn how to do it and whatever, you're more entrepreneurial, you just got to take action. You want to learn how to trade, you got to take action. Open up some sort of simulated trading account, but take action, because the learning, I don't know how much of the learning, the most valuable learning maybe comes from the experience. And there's probably no better example of this than fighting, because if you've ever gotten a fight before, there's certain people that they watch a lot of videos on fighting, they talk about fighting, and there's other people, they don't do any of that stuff, but for some reason when it comes down to fighting, they can do it. It's just one of these things. It's like a lot of things in life where the real life experience is going to be way more valuable than any listening to people's experiences you could do. So with that, my friends, stop listening to me. But because I'm telling you the truth, show your brother Brent some love, your good buddy Brent some love. Like the video for me, subscribe to the YouTube channel, go over to the Facebook group, join the Facebook group, go to the website, put your email address in the website so I can email you stuff. I'm building out some things that only people on the that signed up, whatever email access from the website, are going to get. And with that, I got to upload these things. It's getting late, and your good buddy Brent wants to go to bed. You guys have a good night. Bye-bye.